Welcome, everyone, to our Friday news wrap up, XJW TV News. And we have Ruby Quinn with us today. She's going to be covering half the news. We're kind of doing my end from the C can here. Now, as you can see, we cut out a window. We cut some of the tin out there. You notice? It's right there. You can kind of see outside now. My good wife said she was just tired of being in the dark. You know how it's like when you're in the dark, eh? Anyways, we will never tell all of our secrets how these studios work. Right, Ruby?
Yes.
Right? Okay, now on the backstage, before we get rolling here, how about we pull up Tad from Japan? Tad's on backstage. Hello, Tad from Japan.
Hello, Baron
Hi.
and Ruby, and of course, Baron's precious wife, Shauna, and everyone. Hello.
Hello.
We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Uh, but hey, as I'm sure you already know, the wording has changed to removed from the congregation. Not this fellowship, not this fellowship. That's surprising, but nothing has actually changed.
I know.
And Ruby, I don't know how to find you on Discord, so please let me know later. I'm
Okay.
registered under that name. Well, excuse me. See you soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tad. Thanks for coming on. And I think absolutely, I agree with you, Tad. Nothing's changed. Disfellowshipping is disfellowshipping. If you do not go back to that organization, meet with the elders, you're disfellowshipped. You see, if you've been disfellowshipped for 20 years and you go back and they still want to meet with you and they're going to want to see if you cleaned up your life or whatever the scoop was. But if you say, look, I want to be reinstated so I can associate with my families, but I'm not going to attend the Kingdom Hall because I don't believe in the blood doctrine. I don't believe in a few things, so I'm not going to attend. They're going to say, no, we can't reinstate you. You're still disfellowshipped. Because you see, they don't want your family or anybody, so you're apostate, basically, because you have a different belief than the Jehovah's Witnesses. So nothing's changed. They just become more proactive in trying to go out and get lost, what they call lost sheep. So they're trying to coerce the disfellowshipped ones back in by giving them immediate reinstatement if they cleaned up their act. That's the way I understand it. Did I miss something?
No, I think you got that perfectly correct because they're just changing the wording, but the policy doesn't change, and the structure doesn't change at all. If you're removed, it's the same thing as getting disfellowship. So there's not really much of a difference.
So we have Darth on. We should say hi to everyone. Darth Ligama.
Hey.
And who else? We have Tad. Of course, we had Tad on here. Michelle Allen. She's listening, and we have Joe and Fran listening today. And we have Ruby Quinn. Have you ever heard of Ruby Quinn? She's a pretty good show. We have Clyde Bell. He's here. Hello. And who else? Marmy from Canada. Hello, everyone from Quebec. Yes, long time no see. Nice to see you again, Marmy. And Beverly. Hello, Beverly. And Jane. Hello, Jane Spitfire. You're at your old Kingdom Hall, but you're on public reproof for reading. Really? You get on public reproof for reading romance novels? Really? My ex-mother-in-law's read those steady. So she was always...
I told her pizza just came. Hey, Sergio. I miss you, dude. Where have you been? That's Sergio. We started. We were supposed to start the XJW book club, and then he backed out on me. So we've been having this like fake beef between us, and he's like totally off the internet now. Like I don't know what happened.
Okay, well, hello to everyone out there. If we missed your name, we'll maybe get it later. Put a comment in. We'll be watching. Okay, we're going to start off the news. Get right into it. I'm going to present my part first. I guess this is. We want to give a big thank you to Watching Watchtower. And again, Watching Watchtower, they have all of the news. If you look at their playlist, I just hit playlist, and it's all segregated all over the world into a playlist. Let me see if I can make this bigger. There we go. So you got Venezuela, Louisiana, Switzerland, Lithuania, New Mexico. These are like lawsuits and things going on in every one of these countries. Sweden, Michigan, Colorado, Bulgaria, Finland, Brazil, New Jersey, Canada, France, Ireland, Washington, Spain, Australia, Norway. There's indigenous areas. Wisconsin, Poland, CSA survivors, California, the UK, New York, Argentina, Netherlands, Japan, Germany, New Zealand, Hawaii, Montana, Pennsylvania, and others. So that's the news that Watching Watchtower brings to us. We're going to look at a few of their newscasts here today. We're going to look at the Montana one. I'm going to wait for my good wife to come back in for that one because it's complicated. This Montana one's really complicated. What's going on there now is some briefs back and forth, and Watchtower, well, these motions that they have in these joint motions in limine, Watchtower is now coming back to the plaintiffs, and they're saying, well, we want some limine too. Basically, we don't want to see any of your evidence. So we'll wait. I'm going to cover that one in a bit. Now, this one here, Jehovah's Witness tougher laws take effect in the Netherlands. This is one of the ones they have. I thought this was interesting. In the Netherlands, they're changing some rules. So let's look at this and see what it has to say here. I'm just going to look at it through the eyes of Watching Watchtower. So it says tougher laws on sex crimes, harassment, and abuse take effect in the Netherlands today. And it says penalties for sexual abuse, sexual assault, and rape have also been increased. And it's no longer necessary to prove that force was used in these cases. The Netherlands has also dropped the time limit for filing charges in cases of rape, meaning a case can be brought against a suspect even decades after the crime. And previously, many of these cases had to be filed within 12 years. So things are changing. All over the world, things are changing. So this is no surprise that the Netherlands is making these changes. And that's just kind of it on that one. So if you're in the Netherlands and the 12-year limitation held you back from filing a charge against Jehovah's Witnesses, well, now that's changed. Today you can go file that charge. So back at you there, Ruby.
Very good. That's base Netherlands. And along the same lines, I actually have legislation in the United States that will allow us to do the exact same thing. Let me share my screen here. Okay, you should be able to see the article that I am presenting. And I'm also going to include all of these links in the description or in the comments later on. But here you go. Legislation would allow survivors of child sexual abuse to seek damages. And this is in Delaware. So previously, they were not able to do this. So this is why this is, breaking news, in my opinion. This came out June 24th, 2024. And so the House Bill 417, introduced by Laurel Area State Representative Tim Dukes, would permit affected individuals to file claims in Superior Court at any time. So if you are in the Delaware area, now is the time to bring these cases up because they will consider it. So I think this is important also for our community because we already know Jehovah's Witnesses have a huge problem with this. So if you are XJW or Jehovah's Witness or non-Jehovah's Witnesses, Delaware needs to know about this. So I just wanted to share that.
Well, thanks, Ruby. Okay, well, next on the slate here is university studies. So I talked about this last week. There's a little bit here. Last week we covered the university study in Switzerland. Let's look at this. We looked at the now it's hitting all the newspapers. So this is kind of a new thumbnail here that Watching Watchtower put out. Why? Because it's hitting all the newspapers. Now here's the one we covered last week from Watching Watchtower, was this one, and it was this study that was done in Zurich, this university study, and it's done with all these former Jehovah's Witnesses. And what they're finding is Jehovah's Witnesses were 3 to 6 times more affected by the forms of neglect and violence in general population. So that's what that's about. So that's one of the papers that it's hitting. Here's another one, the Watson paper. And did this one not update to English? Let me see here. There it is, I think. Yes. So here's this paper. And that's why we know this is real news. This is huge news, this university study in Zurich. And this one's hit this paper. It's saying the study by the University of Zurich paints a grim picture of the end time cult and shows that those who have left or have been excluded continues to suffer from the stigma for years. That's the headlines in the Watson paper. Could you imagine? These are this is going all across. Here's another one. The Klein paper. Jehovah's Witnesses alarming results in the Zurich study. Emotional and physical violence in childhood, isolation, and stress during membership. The University of Zurich surveyed 424 former Jehovah's Witnesses and received some shocking answers. As the children, they experience violence after leaving the group, and they often lose all their close people. And today they are in poor health. This was shown by a study conducted by the University of Zurich on 424 former Jehovah's Witnesses in German-speaking countries. This was last November. Now, former Jehovah's Witnesses experienced physical and sexual violence in childhood 3 times more often, and emotional violence and emotional neglect 6 times more often than the general population. Now, in the magazine Stern, one dropout even spoke of psychological terror. And it goes on to talk here. It says, after leaving the community, 77% of former Jehovah's Witnesses are subject to mandatory severance of contact. Members including close family, members such as parents and children. They must break off contact with those who have left. And 1 in 3 people surveyed had suicidal thoughts after leaving the group. And 1 in 10 attempted suicide. That's 10%. Now, during their membership, 75% of the respondents had little or no contact with outsiders, and they spent an average of 15.8 hours per week on religious tasks. And 70% of the respondents did not have enough time for work, family, or leisure. So this is some of it. The chronically and mentally ill. It goes on to talk about this, Ruby. It's amazing what this study's bringing out and how it's sweeping across the Netherlands and the German-speaking countries.
Yep.
This is talking about us. This is a survey about you and I. This survey here.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's what this is us. We're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. This survey is done on us. We're a small minority group outside. This is what finally the world is doing a study on us. You see, it's always been, poor us, Jehovah's Witnesses. Everyone's persecuting us. No one's looked at the real victims, the ones that are kicked out the door, or the ones that are, Rose, researcher Rose just did a really good video on disfellowshipping. And nothing's
I
changed.
love her. I love her.
I just watched hers this morning. So now, chronically and mentally ill, on average, 13 years after leaving the community, respondents, that's like you and me, are 40% more likely to suffer from chronic diseases. and a
Mhm.
third more likely to suffer from mental illness than the general population. They have a lower quality of life and higher stress levels. I see that on the community. I see that within myself. I don't have to
Yes.
go far.
Mhm.
So, but I see that the community has really helped us. That's what I see.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still struggle with
Mhm.
like being such an introvert kind of person. I never leave my home. I only leave, for a specific reason, but I am not going outside. And I think it's because of the extremism. We were always going to Kingdom
Yeah.
Hall, always going out in service, always going outside, always hanging out with people that I kind of
Mhm.
hated the outside. And I just want to stay home. And so I kind of maneuvered my lifestyle to revolve around the home. So I could see the similarities with how my brain functions, or how it probably would be different if I didn't grow up as a Jehovah's
Mhm.
Witness, but unfortunately here we are. We're gonna make the best of it.
You know, you surprise me. I would have never guessed you're an introvert.
Really?
Like on, there's no way on Discord you're the like uh, the checkers champion. You're
Yeah.
the poker player, poker champion
Hmm.
there one time. Anyways, you were one time, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
then you're talking about it and having fun and inviting. Like you seem like you're the social butterfly of the whole community. To me, you look like the social butterfly of the community, and
Yeah, but
I say
that's
that with
because
a
I put
compliment.
myself out there. I
Good
put
for you.
I do this on purpose. You know what I mean? Like I gotta get out of
Hmm.
my own shell, and this is the way that I
Hmm.
can do it is online. I can't really do it in person yet. I'm
Yeah.
still struggling with that. But online, my presence can come out because this is like who I really
Hmm.
am. Is I can express that on the internet. So this is the
Hmm.
Ruby that I want to be. Like I want to be like this in real life. But this is how
Hmm.
I can at least do it here for my community.
Yeah.
And so I'm putting myself out here.
Good for you. Good for you. So what do you think? Now I'm jumping subjects. We should get back to Zurich, but I just want to throw this in while we're talking.
Mhm.
The September 13th. You've given that some thought, eh?
I've been
Flying
talking
out.
about it. Yeah, I've been talking about it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. You might
because
want to stay overnight. You know that because they do have a get together and stuff like that. But you think about it. I think the community's ready to back you and make this all happen. You
yeah, I'm
see,
I'm still
because
tहीं
you're
about it.
such a
We're
good
gonna
spokesman. Yeah. Talk to your husband about it and maybe make it a
definitely.
little bit of a holiday. I don't know. I don't know. Like, but
Yes, yes, yes.
we're willing to help you as a community. So, getting back to the news here on this, I think this we're going to talk a lot about this over the next year probably. This study is going to have an impact on the whole world, and it's financed by the Zurich Bank. The Zurich Bank, that's like the Swiss gold, isn't it, of the world? Zurich Bank. Well, anyways, they're behind this study, and the alarming results of the study are consistent with the reports of those who have left the group. They show that the prescribed breaking off of contact destroys relationships and families and makes people sick. It does. It literally does make people sick in so many
Yep.
different ways. So many different
Hmm.
ways. Well, the Hamburg, here is bringing this out. The Hamburg gunman was also a former Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what I was looking for, is that research.
Yeah.
He was a former Jehovah's Witness. Religious expert Michael Huch on ZDF is convinced leaving the group can trigger an extreme life crisis.
There
The
you go,
study
right there.
also, yep,
Hmm.
right there. We'll I'm going to bang this open in another link. Now,
Hmm.
leaving the group can trigger an extreme life crisis. And the study also makes clear the extreme violence that children and young people are exposed to among Jehovah's Witnesses. And the study results are an appeal to the society and the politicians to take action against the prescribed breaking off of contact and to better protect children in dominant communities. So this study is going to go a long ways. We're going to be talking about this because now, as activists, ex-JW activists, we now have a Zurich study on this as a result of the Hamburg gunman. This is a powerful study. We have to use this, take this to our politicians in Canada, in the US, and we got to say, hey, this group no longer qualifies as a charity organization. Let them do what they want, but take their money away and watch them crumble. They do not deserve charity status. Any group that does this to people, tax members. And that's where we have to stand. And Watchtower will change their policy overnight. They've already done with beards and all kinds of stuff. They're trying to make shunning lighten the load, but they're not even touching it. We have to be able to join that religion and quit that religion without any consequences, without any family shunning, any announcements, any belittling, any discrimination. All of that has to go away. And Watchtower, in my opinion, has to be held accountable for all the damage it's done on Earth to this date. And apologies are necessary, contrary to what Jeffrey Winder says. Back to you, Ruby. I ranted a bit, so I'll let you carry on.
No, you are so right. Just wanted to share this with everybody because if you haven't been updated in the process that's been happening in Pennsylvania, so the AG of PA, they did this whole press conference. I think most of us are familiar that there was about 16 Jehovah's Witness men that were arrested for CSA cases dating back to the 90s. Okay, that's as long as I've been alive that these people have been covered up and hidden in kingdom halls. Meanwhile, they should have been registered as sex offenders or in jail for the crimes that they have committed against innocent Jehovah's Witness children. So here's the good news. Thanks to Mark O'Donnell on Twitter, I follow him and I love him. All of the work that he's done is amazing. So this is the article. Pennsylvania man sentenced amid Jehovah's Witness sexual abuse investigation. So this was posted on July 3rd. So this is breaking news, technically, for us. So I'll just read a little bit. It says, a Reading man will serve up to 46 years in prison amid the Pennsylvania Attorney General's investigation into alleged sexual abuse of Jehovah's Witness congregation members. Luis Manuel Ayala Velasquez, 56, was arrested last year after a grand jury investigation where sexual assault charges were recommended against more than a dozen members of the Jehovah's Witness faith. So this man, Alaya Velasquez, was sentenced to 14 to 46 years in prison, and should he be released, must register as a sex offender for life for repeated sexual assaults of a girl that started more than 20 years ago. And I just wanted to share also, if I can, I don't know if I can share this, because I am always curious to know what these people look like. And so I Googled him enough to find his photo. So I don't know. Let me see if I can share, present, if I can show you what this guy looks like. Okay, can you see that? All right. So there was about 16 different men that were arrested, and the article also shows the mugshots of the other men. But this is the man that we are talking about, okay? Luis Manuel Ayala Velasquez. He is the first person that I know of. Okay, this is, a developing story. He has been sentenced. So this is justice for our community. Back to you, Vern. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Thank you. See, works having someone else online. I mute my mic because I got a fan going. Can you hear my fan? I could shut it off. Can you guys hear it?
No, I hear my own fan because I have a fan too.
Fan going. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to. I was looking at a comment here from Holland. Where is that? Did I go too high? I was looking at it here. Someone from Holland said hi. There it is. D Happy Heretic. Hello
Nice.
From Holland, Ruby and Vernon, everyone. Well, hello, D Happy Heretic. I wonder what time it is. Are they on our time scale? Kind of.
I have no clue.
I think they'd be over in the European. So, what do we have here? Couple of comments has to do that. I was looking at Joe and Fran's comment here. Ruby said, "Very cool."
Yes, because they said that you just booked a hotel, so they're gonna be at the protest. Joe and Fran are gonna be there.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So, okay, so Jane said this here. The XJW guy in German, his book is on Amazon. I thought they pulled it off. So the reason he got DF'd, he told the elder not to DF him or regret it. So I found a little bit more on this this article here. It's right here, and leaving the EU can trigger extreme life crisis. EU, what does that mean? EU.
European Union. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
what I thought.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought, but I don't think that's what this is about. It's an expert on Jehovah's Witnesses. It's an interview. So it starts out by saying the Hamburg gunman is a former Jehovah's Witness. The loss of a strict but supportive community can, according to religious expert, this guy here, it can trigger severe stress. This ZDF guy, Hute. The perpetrator in Hamburg was apparently a former Jehovah's Witness and apparently harbored a particular anger towards religious followers, but especially towards Jehovah's Witnesses. He left the community voluntarily, but not on good terms. How do you assess all of this, Professor Uch? Well, Professor Michael Uch, well, belief in the higher reality or belonging to a religious community can have a very stabilizing effect and offer a lot of support in life. But religion is capable of terrible acts. Sexual violence has been looked at very closely in religious communities for 15 years. Remember, starting back with the Catholics, right? And so we have to look at what religious communities are contributing to this. And people who have left the group, those who want to leave, are not given an easy time of it. There are enough former members who are ostracized and who find this a great deal of psychological stress. My first assumption is, of course, that he is disappointed, that he was angry, and that he committed such a terrible act in the heat of the moment. And the other guy says, I think it's important to make a distinction between the perpetrator as an individual and the issue of those who have left the Jehovah's Witnesses. Because leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses alone does not make you a perpetrator.
Mm-hmm.
So then the other guy says, well, when such a terrible act happens, you always ask yourself what the motives could have been. I heard that he was a well-educated man who lived an inconspicuous life and worked in a normal environment. But the fact that he then returned to a community where he had once been at home and where he had also received spiritual guidance, that is, of course, something to think about. So I don't know how long this article is. These guys go back and forth for a bit. Oh, they even talk about Serena and Venus Williams.
Oh, Lord.
Were raised in the faith. Huh.
Yep.
Well, this is hitting headlines all over. This is an interesting study. I didn't read it. It's not that long, really. We have lots of time, but did you have some more to cover? I can get back to this study. We have lots of time on the show.
Okay, sure. The next story that I had was from Mozambique. So what recently happened on Twitter, so I get most of my news from Twitter, and I think this was Larchwood. He posts a lot of great stuff. So this came from Reddit. And apparently there was an account going by Warwick Pimo, who was releasing information either on Reddit or on Twitter. I'm not sure, but I think it is Reddit, because recently, I guess his identity has been uncovered. He's no longer anonymous, and it's because I guess the elders in his congregation have found out who the leaks were coming from, and they were essentially threatening him. And so he went to the news, and this is crazy because this just happened recently. And
Really?
I cannot believe that he went straight to the news and he's talking about it here. So I am going to share this video
I never
here
knew that.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah, please
let's.
show it. Can you blow it right up? Make it big? There you go.
Yes. So the captions are in English, so you will have to read it, but we'll explain it, when it starts.
Okay. Former member of Jehovah's Witnesses denounces alleged acts of dishonesty and threats to
Antigo membro
do
das
something.
Testemunhas de Jeová denuncia supostos atos de desonestidade e ameaças para obtenção de confissão perpetrados por líderes daquela organização religiosa. Maurício Fernando diz que a organização manipula a justiça, tem espiões, proíbe fazer faculdade e há casos de abuso de menores que são ocultados.
Chama-se Maurício Fernando e durante 12 anos esteve ligado às Testemunhas de Jeová no Departamento de Tradução e há meses foi desassociado por ter descoberto e destapado supostas verdades ocultas, cenário que vai contra os princípios da organização religiosa.
A organização tentava manipular a justiça norueguesa. Então, naquela manipulação, eles tentaram apagar algumas evidências. Essas evidências têm a ver com dois vídeos que tinham a ver com o processo da desassociação dentro da organização. E nesse processo, eles tentavam omitir a verdade na justiça.
I just want to go back. They were trying to manipulate the government in that country. Is that what they're being called out on?
Yeah, so I think this is what he's trying to explain. Yes, that the organization was trying to manipulate Norwegian justice.
Yes. That's like Ben Elder's getting up there. He's a janitor and he's going to get up there and give a speech to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that in Norway?
Maybe that's what he's referring to, because I think because this guy is like the whistleblower. So he was releasing the videos that the Norwegian court actually used, which was like the disfellowshipping videos and stuff like that.
Right.
Because they were trying to take it off the website. So he's kind of like the whistleblower, and then he goes on to explain that that's what he was doing. And then he got called. Yeah.
Cool. Great. Keep going.
Isso é norueguesa. Então, naquela manipulação, eles tentaram apagar algumas evidências. Essas evidências têm a ver com dois vídeos que tinham a ver com o processo da desassociação dentro da organização. E nesse processo, eles tentavam omitir a verdade na justiça. E como uma das formas de omitir, tentaram apagar dois vídeos que eram para ser exibidos dentro de um congresso regional no ano passado. Então, peguei aqueles vídeos por ver que
Okay, right here. So you see, he says, I took those videos because I saw that there was a need to expose the truth of what's really, really going on.
Yeah.
A necessidade de expor a verdade.
Go ahead.
He's an apostate like us. He's more of a Mark O'Donnell, though. Mark O'Donnell is really doing, like, getting in there and getting documents and exposing them. That's really kind of what he's doing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did it with the videos. And then that was the way that they got those videos. And it's genius. I'm like so happy. This guy is like an XJW hero.
Yeah. I think this I think it's happening will happen all over the world. Like people like ourselves are going to come up out of the woodwork. Have you not noticed that there's a huge increase on the XJW community of people telling their stories? Like it's almost too many to keep. Well, too much to keep up. Too much So there's so much information out on XJWs now. They're all speaking out. No one's afraid, or less people are afraid. People are showing their faces, telling their names. They don't care anymore. And we all have a big community. We all have a place. We talk about our birthdays. We communicate. I think this is just great. You carry on. We got lots of time on the show. Lots of time. So.
And this is in Mozambique, because Aloma just asks, what nation are these African brothers in? So this is Mozambique.
Okay.
Peguei aqueles vídeos e tornei-os públicos. Acabei tendo ficheiro ou documento que dava indícios de que há espiões dentro da organização que monitoram fóruns daqueles que são chamados apóstatas. Então, com aquela informação.
Okay, so right there, he's explaining that he took those videos and then he leaked them, he's saying that he's trying to also prove the fact that there are spies within Watchtower that are monitoring the apostate forums, which is like Reddit or Twitter or YouTube or
Really?
anything like that, because I mean he's living proof, you know, that's how he got these videos. That's how he was able to leak this kind of stuff. So
Do you
that's
think-
amazing. Now,
Do you think there's Watchtower spies on our channel right now? Watching
I
us?
mean, I don't know if they're here live wasting their time, but if you really think about it, they don't have jobs. Okay, they are in Watchtower.
Yeah,
They are in
maybe.
Bethel doing what all day long? You know what I mean?
Well-
So I wouldn't put it past them that they have somebody at a computer watching every single time we go live, you know, having our faces, knowing our names. And you know, I have this theory that every time, or if any of one of us calls Bethel, because I've been calling Bethel recently, if I give my name and they know I'm on YouTube, because I go by my real name, you know what I mean? I'm not faking anything. This is me. I am sure that when they say, hold on, sister, let me put you on hold, it's because they're going in a little database to see, well, who is Ruby? I will not put it past them.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to say to, I guess, everyone out there that's online, the 72 that are watching, if any of you guys are from the Watchtower, the link is in here. Come on. You don't have to show your face. Come on and talk to us. We've been begging for Watchtower people to come online and talk to us forever. If you're watching the video, you might as well come on and tell us what you think. Like, this is real stuff, real news around the world, stuff that you will not get on JW.org. That's all I can say. Go ahead, Ruby. Take it away.
Exactly right.
We have lots of time on the show.
Okay.
Eu consegui ver que realmente na organização existe espiões.
E não é apenas isso. Maurício Fernando fala de desencorajamento aos membros da organização a não fazerem ensino superior. Supostamente poderão servir ao diabo.
Uma das coisas que eles alegam é que
Yeah, you heard
that
that,
was
right?
amazing how direct. Did you see that? He said he's nailing it just like the
Yes.
way it is, using the words the devil. You're serving the devil. You can't take higher education. Like, I'm so happy this is coming out all over the world.
Yeah, you see what I'm
Especially in
saying?
these
When I saw this
African
video, I couldn't
countries.
believe it. Yeah.
That's where their growth is. Watchtower's growth right now, if you think about it, you look at the building behind this guy. That's a third world country, most likely. I don't want to knock anybody's country, but I've been to a few, not too many in the world. But when you're in a third world country and you're in an area where it's hot, that Kingdom Hall is really nice. It has air conditioning. Watchtower came in and put that all in for the people. Hey, guess what? You have internet there. You can update your internet. You see, they're making it attractive in these countries that don't offer internet and things like that. They're just kind of behind a bit. Maybe only 50% of the people have internet. So now to join the Watchtower, there's a lot of perks. You sit, you want to get to that meeting. It's air conditioned, it's friendly, and there's internet, right? You can update your internet while you're there. Hopefully, I don't know does Watchtower allow that? Can you update your internet?
I have
Anybody
no
online?
clue.
I was going to say Joe and Fran left the Catholic Church, and they didn't get
Right.
shunned. No one shuns like Watchtower. You go ahead, Ruby. I cut you off again.
Okay, so we'll just play whatever last
Yeah,
video.
that's good. This is a good show. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
fazendo faculdade estaria já a se formar para servir ao Satanás. Então, para uma forma de não servir ao diabo é tentar evitar fazer a faculdade.
Escola para eles é diabo.
Ouço assim dizer que a
School is
escola para
devil.
eles está como uma coisa que a faculdade é uma coisa que é vista por eles como uma coisa que o diabo usa para moldar as pessoas. Uma das ameaças que eles me deram é que se eu não cooperasse,
Okay, so now he's going to go into the threats. Okay, and I'm also going to make my own video about this. It's because now Watchtower is using their elder minions to threaten this brother for not doing anything really wrong. You know, I mean, I don't know their laws, but I mean, he was just leaking these videos, and I don't think that that's illegal, you know, under whistleblower laws. I mean, I hope that that's the position that he's going to
it's
take.
not.
Because, yeah, because he has a lawyer. You know, I mean, this is bigger than just the news. You know?
Wow.
So he says one of the threats they gave him was if he didn't cooperate or give up all the information, Okay, now let's press play. Let's see the threats.
Dar aquelas informações todas a eles, eles poderiam.
Wow.
Eu poderia
Threaten their
sofrer
family?
consequências,
Yes.
eu e a minha família. E mas das vezes eu fui obrigado, naquela hora do telemóvel, eles me disseram que se eu
He was forced at the time with the cell phone. They told me that if he didn't give up his cell phone, so they threatened him with his family, which
Yep.
I'm assuming that's shunning. Like if they'll DF him, then
Okay.
I'm assuming that's that. And then the cell phone situation. So they were telling him to give up the phone, which is highly inappropriate. Like I have never heard of that happening. But that's the
his
threat.
own personal cell phone?
Right.
His own personal cell phone.
Right.
Okay.
To see like who is he in contact with, because they want to find the mole, they want to find the mole
Yep.
and Watchtower. So he's just somebody on the outside. They want to find out who's the rat on the inside.
Oh, I see. Because he's getting information on his phone emailed to him or
Right.
something from someone in
Right.
Bethel or something like that.
From a spy, exactly. So this is so much deeper than I thought it was. But let's go ahead.
não dar
Okay.
o telemóvel, eu não poderia sair. Eu tinha que dar o telemóvel ou desbloquear o telemóvel,
unlock
eles
the
verificarem
cell phone
tudo
and
que
they
estava
would
lá
check.
dentro.
What was that?
Wow. I was just reading it out loud. I shouldn't have. But they wanted him to unlock his cell phone so they could check all
Right.
his information.
Right.
Wow.
But he couldn't
That's all I
leave.
can say is wow.
So I'm
He
assuming
couldn't
this is a
leave.
committee. Yeah.
So they're
I'm
holding him
assuming
hostage.
technically, right? That's crazy because
Yeah.
if they did a judicial committee and they're telling him you can't leave until you hand over the phone or unlock it, that's a threat.
So how is he going to be? Here's what I've been thinking. We're going to go to the assemblies and do some protests.
Mhm.
What if they surround you? You know how they surround apostates?
Mhm.
What if they surround you? What if they touch you? Are they allowed
Yeah.
to touch you? They can touch you?
Nobody is. I mean, in the
Yeah.
United
Can you
States
punch
of
them if they
America.
touch you? No. My wife
Don't
says-
make me get
my wife-
patriotic.
My wife says if anything happens like that, we're done. So I'm just going to stand there with a smile. And I'm hoping that
Right.
if we're smiling, the smile, the energy will ward off that group that likes to surround you. And I don't
Right.
think they can surround us on public property. If we're on the sidewalk
True.
that enters into the assembly, then they're really crossing a line if they assault us.
So many.
We're
so
quiet
many.
protesters. But now this guy is saying they're threatening his family.
Yes.
I don't care how you're threatening your family. If you're threatening him, you can't talk to your family. You can't do this. You can't do that. That is a threat. And now they're holding him hostage in an elders meeting. Three
Right.
brothers. That's what they do at the assembly. They circle you and they crowd you. It's elder crowding. They
Mhm.
actually taught. I was a ministerial servant, and I was part of the training for or assembly crowding or apostate crowding. And they circle the apostate, and then they slowly walk the circle out the door. And the
Right. But they
apostate
can't
has
touch
to
you.
walk. They're not supposed to touch you.
Right.
Not
Right.
supposed to.
Yeah. So this is what I'm assuming. He is describing a judicial committee because he was found out
Yeah.
to be the leak. And so they are
Wow.
now threatening him for disfellowshipping, that your family hangs on the line. If you don't do what we say, we're going to disfellowship you. And now the second threat is that if he doesn't unlock the phone so that they can find out who the spy is, they're also threatening him with removal or disfellowshipping, basically.
Mhm. Mhm.
Desbloquear o telemóvel, eles verificarem tudo que estava lá dentro, para eles poderem me deixar.
O jovem antigo testemunha de Jeová descobriu ainda existirem casos de abuso de menores dentro da organização religiosa que são ocultados.
Por exemplo, tivemos do corpo governante da liderança máxima que foi parar na Corte Real Australiana em 2015 para dar seu depoimento sobre o caso de abuso de menores, que estavam a ser ocultos. Mais de 900 casos de abuso de menores foram ocultos pela organização e tiveram que parar na justiça.
Por causa de tantas descobertas que vão contra princípios da organização religiosa, Maurício Fernando foi isolado da sua própria família.
Okay, so here we go. I can't believe he mentions the ARC in 2015. So this So he is definitely an apostate. that confirms it, that he knows what's going on with the child sexual abuse.
Yeah.
And so now the newscaster is saying that he is isolated from his own family. So I am also assuming that he was officially disfellowshipped because of this.
Okay. So
Familiar.
he doesn't say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I
that
think
would-
there's
that-
only
That's really what they're doing, is they're holding his family hostage. Like you
Mhm,
could look at this, if you want to look at this from the outside world,
mhm,
from a political standpoint, they're
Mhm.
holding his family hostage, and they're using brainwashing techniques, mind control techniques to hold them, to make them hate him. They're using
right.
mind control and brainwashing techniques. And you and I know what that is. It's just how they do all the hate against the apostates or
Yeah.
anybody that's, if you're not with them, you're against them.
Exactly. And you are like
Yeah.
an imminent threat to them and
Yeah.
their life or like their belief system. They take it so personally that this guy is a monster because of what he's doing
Yeah.
and because he's not listening to the elders. So that's considered unrepentant because you're not unlocking the phone. You're not following with the threatening, the line of
Yeah.
threatening you're trying to, because they can't control his brain anymore. He's not brainwashed
Yeah.
anymore. So
Yeah,
none
he's
of those
woke
things are going
up.
to work anymore.
Interesting to the level that these elders will go. And I think that's what's good about this kind of exposure,
Yeah.
just to let people
Exactly.
know what could happen. Be prepared. Wanting
Yep.
into your phone. If they do it in one congregation, they'll do it in another, right? They get away
Yeah, I
with it.
mean,
Obviously, they get away with stuff like that. Let's say there's sexting going on, right? You see,
Yep.
really, the police can get those records if they need it, and that's why it all has to be turned over to the police. If the police want your phone records, they got them. They don't need to
right.
ask you; they got them. Well, the
Mhm.
elders are not police. They
Right.
can't do this job. They're not qualified, and they have no
Right.
right. You have to get a judge's court order to get
Right.
that phone information. You can't just go to the police cannot even go to the telephone company and say, I want that information. They
You
can't.
need a subpoena from a
They
judge.
have to go to a judge. So
Mhm.
JW org, their game plan, it's failing. It's falling
Right.
apart.
But they're
Yeah.
threatening somebody who did not commit a crime, okay? He did not do anything wrong or against the law. He just leaked these videos that helped in this case in Norway. So you can already see the lengths that Watchtower would go to shut you down, to hunt you down. And that's what they're doing to apostates. And he
Yeah.
went straight to the news and got a lawyer. So this guy is amazing. I think there's only like a minute left, so I'll just play
Oh
the
yeah, you
rest.
take your time. We got lots of time. And my good wife just walked in, so we can get into the Montana stuff later. So
Yes.
or
Okay,
whenever you're
perfect.
ready, yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's great. But we got lots of time. Go ahead.
Okay.
Contactado telefonicamente para reagir às acusações, Antônio Mate, responsável das testemunhas de Jeová em Macinga, negou.
Então, quem tem que responder é o escritório de Maputo.
Isso.
Aqui em Macinga não tem nada a dizer,
Não.
mas sabem do assunto que estou falando.
Olha, eu não quero falar nada disso, eu já falei.
Ilofre da Conceição, advogado de defesa de Maurício Fernando, diz haver fatos criminais contra as testemunhas de Jeová e a queixa-crime já foi submetida à justiça.
Nós submetemos processo que queixa com base
So now this is his lawyer speaking to the news press.
nos fundamentos que lá aparecem e vamos ver o que a justiça vai dizer sobre este caso, mas achamos que não podemos deixar passar porque sentimos que há indivíduos que estão dentro das confissões religiosas, mas a postura muitas vezes não coaduna com aquilo que são a forma de estar dentro da igreja e esconde-se lá dentro da igreja.
Informação em nosso poder dá conta que mais de 1000 membros das testemunhas de Jeová já foram expulsos por descobrir supostas verdades ocultas.
Antigo membro da...
Wow.
Whoops. Yeah, so that was crazy what he just said there. So that's the lawyer speaking, and he was like, this is, people within the religion that are, doing stuff wrong. I think he said religious confusion.
Yep.
Yeah, within religious confusions. But then the newscaster over here says that more information in their possession indicates that more than 1,000 members of Jehovah's Witnesses have been, disfellowshipped because
in
of
the
doing
ark.
this.
Is this about
Yeah.
the ark still?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think he's referring to like the apostasy of like whistleblowing this information. So
Okay.
I'll play it so that you could hear what he says.
Poder
Okay.
dá conta que mais de 1.000 membros das testemunhas de Jeová já foram expulsos por descobrir supostas verdades ocultas.
There you go. So they have been expelled for discovering supposed hidden truths.
Well, this
Okay,
this is great news that it's coming out like this.
Yep. So that is the end of that story.
Wow. That's starting all over the earth, right? These stories are going to come out, and they're hitting people. Now, what do I have for us next? Is here's just to finish up a little bit, the Zurich study, alarming results of the Zurich study. Another newspaper on that. Detailed media release dated 25th of June 24. This is brand new, guys, folks. This is what's hitting it out. 77% of former Jehovah's Witnesses are subjected to mandatory termination of contact. 1 in 3 people who have left the group have suicidal thoughts. We covered that. And 10% of those who have left attempt suicide. And former Jehovah's Witnesses are 40% more likely to suffer from chronic illness, and a third more likely to suffer from mental illness. So you see, by the government's getting to the bottom of this, they have a huge problem on their hands. There's 8.5 million people around the earth that are infected by the Rutherford trance. It's a virus. The Jehovah's Witness religion is a virus. It's a Rutherford trance. It's a Rutherford virus. And it's not the same religion as Russell made it. It changed. Not to say that Russell's religion was any good either. But anyways, I got my good wife here. We're going to get into the Montana stuff. The part that we have here is the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York. Tracy K. Kurt and Camellia Mapley. And this has been going back and forth forever. Yeah. So let's see where we're at. So here's all these motions in limine. We covered this. Motions in limine. Did I say that right?
Yes, in limina.
In limina.
Yeah.
Here, I'll put that up here.
Perfect. So Vern actually did a video on the motion in limina that was submitted by the plaintiffs, so the ladies, against Watchtower to prevent them from going on about those 9 points, including their humanitarian efforts, all the good they do, yada, yada, yada. So if you just look at the title of this one, this is plaintiff's brief in response to defendant's joint motions in limina. So what's happened in the meantime that we've missed here is Watchtower Pennsylvania and Watchtower New York have also submitted a joint motion in limina to prevent the ladies from arguing certain points during the court. And this is the ladies' response to the Watchtower's demands. Like, they don't want them, if you read this page here, Vern.
So the defendants asked the court to prohibit the plaintiffs, that's the two ladies, the victims, from establishing the standard of care for elders in the faith of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
So as a starting point, this motion does not ask the court to rule that a particular evidence or testimony is inadmissible.
Okay.
Instead, it asks the court to prohibit plaintiffs from proving an element of the negligent claim.
Right. So what the ladies want to argue here is, as elders, they should be required to do A, B, C, and D. But the Watchtower is moving here to prevent them from actually arguing that, because again, they're just all about refusing liability.
Right.
So if it's very hard for somebody to argue that you were harmed if there's no expectation of care involved.
Yes, and that's what they're trying to get out of in New Zealand, right?
Yes, there's
that they don't care for kids.
There's no so they'll argue it both ways. So here, really what they're doing is they're asking the court to prevent these ladies from even presenting this argument. Yeah. They're not ruling on what somebody's already said or what paper they actually have. This is just
it's a tactic.
It's brilliant, yeah, on Watchtower's part. But yeah. One other quick point. I think it's interesting that Watchtower Pennsylvania and Watchtower New York filed this motion together, considering the whole while they've been fighting to be separate entities from.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyways.
So it says here, this is not a proper motion in limine.
No.
But even if it was a motion seeking exclusion of particular evidence or testimony, the defendants, the Watchtower, failed to provide any reason why the evidence of this, I get that, as this Supreme Court of Montana affirmed an order in limine concluding that it would be impossible to evaluate the church's decision without an evaluation of the Mormon religion.
Right. So now they're just going to start citing all of the case law that they can to support their argument. So this is just the lady's lawyer doing a very good job. So he's arguing that they haven't allowed this type of motion in the past based on like these cases. So, but yeah, it's
so it says here, neither the court nor the jury is being called to resolve a dispute concerning the plaintiff's relationship with Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, the jury will be asked to apply the same laws and standards of care that apply to all people and corporations in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And plaintiffs are not seeking to establish a standard of a standard of what?
Keep going.
A standard to the local Kmart was sexually.
Yeah,
abusing.
I think it jumped ahead.
Just jumped
yeah, so it's just lots and lots of case law. If you kind of.
It's interesting though.
Yeah. Yeah, defendants cite no basis for prohibiting plaintiffs from introducing evidence. Like they're just not providing any specific reasons. They're just filing papers.
Watchtower wants to catch them when they're not looking.
Yeah. Yeah, bog them down, really.
Bog them down with a bunch of crap.
So anyways, this page here actually deals with a specific objection that Watchtower has made to one page of somebody's deposition.
Right here.
Yes. Maybe go ahead to the next one. This one is actually a little bit easier to see. Yeah. So, and it almost looks as if the plaintiff's lawyer, the lady's lawyer, is willing to let the one page go instead of the entire deposition. But Watchtower wants the entire deposition struck.
And this is all the information I read through this, where it's the elder is admitting that he went to head office New York and he almost lost his eldership. Yeah. And this is because the victim, the girl, she remembers all of this, her dad. Seeing all of these things. It's quite interesting.
And one of the interesting points is they said that they remember being told, like after they told the elders about the assault,
mm-hmm.
that they were told they had to wait about a week for directive from New York to come back.
Yeah.
So therefore, their lawyer goes on this page just to argue that, well, if it's all Watchtower official stuff, then none of it is hearsay, because the Watchtower is arguing it should all be struck because it's just hearsay. It's not fact. So they're just, again, they're just trying to make a lot of stuff go away.
And I don't think they can.
No. So it's, they also argue that the testimony is unreliable. Well, how would they know? So
it hasn't went through court.
Exactly.
That's what they said.
Yeah. So pretty much the lady's lawyer is just saying that they should be allowed to argue all of these facts in court and let the court decide on the merit of the evidence, as opposed to this preemptive. Whoops.
See, the judge or the Watchtower does not want the jury to see this stuff. No. So they're arguing left and right. No, we don't want the jury to see this. They don't need to see this. They don't need to see this either.
Yeah.
And they don't want the jury to see anything.
No, because it's going to prove that they are more liable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about that dollar, people.
So it's going to be interesting. This court case is zooming up on us. It doesn't look like they're settling. I thought they were trying to settle.
That's still going to be going on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe we saw the order. They set aside some time on the calendar for mediation.
And then we missed another
But-
motion, was a golden rule. You ever heard of a golden rule motion?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So no, this is just there's so many layers going on here. So my bet, people, is that it's going to run down to the right to the wire, the negotiations, and then they're going to be told, let's go to court. So we'll see. These ladies have a lot of fight in them, and I don't blame them if they did want to settle.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them at all. But we'll see. So far, they've taken it to the watchtower, and they're not letting up. Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, good wife, for helping with that. And what else do we have? You have some more news for us, Ruby Quinn?
Yes, I do. Okay. And I do have permission from this XJW content creator, so she will not strike you down if we play her video in full. I asked her, I was like, hey, I wanna present this. And she said, anything for my people. So I am so happy to present Monica. If you don't know her already, this is her YouTube page. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she is doing XJW content and she does like makeup tutorials. So
Wow.
she's doing her thing. And I appreciate her
Amazing.
channel. Yeah. So this is oh, and she's from South Africa. So you see there, South African XJW.
Okay.
So,
and she, yeah.
So she does a video, and this is the title, Where and Why Jehovah's Witnesses Are Banned. And she lists a couple countries, and that's why I just wanted to present this so that we can just understand a little bit more about, why they are banned in these countries. And that is not just Russia, because JW.org wants to present as if Russia is this big bad guy who doesn't like us. No, there are a lot of other countries who do not want your propaganda in their country. And so I am going to play her video. And it's just for 10 minutes. Mute. Yes, I'm going to mute myself too.
The Jehovah's Witnesses have been banned in multiple countries around the world. In today's video, I'm going to list down 17 countries that have banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. And for some of those countries, I will also share the reasons as to why they have banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. For those who are new, my name is Monica, and I create XJW content, and I also create beauty content. If it resonates with you, please hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up to show the algorithm that you enjoy this type of content so that more people can learn about this information, because I promise you, it's going to blow your mind today. Please also feel free to let us know where you're watching this video from. I love finding out where you guys are situated on this planet. So let us know, where are you watching this video from? Let's get into it. First on our list, we have Afghanistan. Afghanistan is one of 3 countries in the whole world where there are no Jehovah's Witnesses, not even a branch office, nothing. That to me sounds like an amazing place. Second on our list, we have Algeria. Algeria has also banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. And for those that do not know, Algeria is actually a North African country. And as we go down this list, you're going to learn as to why most North African countries and other Arab countries have banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. I promise you, it's not what you think. Third on our list, we have Bahrain. Bahrain has also banned the Jehovah's Witnesses in that country. Fourth on our list, we have Brunei. Now, this is a big word, so I have to read it, but it's a unitary Islamic absolute monarchy, meaning that they only recognize the Islamic religion within the country, which is why they have banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. Fifth on our list, we have China. China has banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, I actually didn't know this, but they banned them in 1985. And they did this because the country was cracking down on foreign religions. And even till this day, if they find out that you are a Jehovah's Witness missionary in their country, they will deport you immediately. At number 6, we have Comoros. Let me read what the Comoros actually said. They said that they do not allow non-Sunni religious groups to assemble, even for peaceful activities in public places, because the country does not allow proselytizing of non-Sunni religious activities or rituals. And this is prohibited on the basis of affronting society's cohesion and endangering national unity. And to me, that's actually a very beautiful reason that they want people to stay unified. And people don't really realize this, but the Jehovah's Witness religion really does cause a lot of division. Like when you are part of the Jehovah's Witness religion, you are really taught to hate other people who are not part of the faith that you share. You look down on them, and that can definitely cause division within a country. People take this lightly, but as we go down this list, you will understand why. At number 7, we have Djibouti. Now, let me just quickly say that this list has taught me so much because some of these countries I had never heard of before, like Djibouti. And Djibouti has banned the Jehovah's Witnesses because they also are an Islamic majority country. At number 8, we have Egypt. Egypt banned the Jehovah's Witnesses already in 1959. And you will not believe the reason. You will not believe it. They banned the Jehovah's Witnesses because of their ties and relations to the Zionist religion. Yes, that is why the Jehovah's Witnesses are banned in Egypt. A lot of people don't know this. They don't know that the Jehovah's Witness religion was actually founded by a Zionist. Charles Taze Russell was a Zionist, and Benjamin Netanyahu actually thanked him for all of the work that he has done for the country of Israel. And Israel is what it is today because of him and other people who have helped the country achieve its, I don't even know what to call it, but basically, these people helped Israel to be what it is today. Charles Taze Russell, the founder of the Jehovah's Witnesses. And countries like Egypt were like, we are not involving us with people that are affiliated to this group of people. So don't let Jehovah's Witnesses fool you into thinking that, oh no, they've banned us because of persecution, because of it was prophesied in the last days that the Jehovah's Witnesses will be treated like this. Honey, you are part of a cult that is connected to Zionism. Thank you. At number 4, we have the country of Eritrea. Eritrea banned the Jehovah's Witnesses in 1994. And here's what I was able to find out on the internet. The government stripped Jehovah's Witnesses of their civil and political rights in 1994 after their refusal to engage in voting and military services. Members of all ages have been arrested for participating in religious meetings. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer here and say that I don't support people being persecuted, people being arrested and mistreated just because they are Jehovah's Witnesses. But I also do understand why countries would ban them, because here's a religion telling your citizens not to vote. Here's a religion telling your citizens not to participate within their own country. For me, that is a danger to society. And similarly to what the Comoros said, it does cause division within the country. And some countries have already noticed and seen the Jehovah's Witnesses for who they were or who they are, and they have decided to ban them. So I do agree with countries banning the Jehovah's Witnesses 100%. However, I don't agree with people being mistreated. I don't agree with people being arrested and persecuted because of their faith. Some people are honestly just in this religion because they are looking for salvation. They just want to practice their faith and they think that this is a good faith. However, they are not aware just how dangerous this organization actually is. At number 10, we have the country of Iran. And this is very interesting because you might already think you have an idea as to why they have banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. But listen, the Jehovah's Witnesses are not recognized by the government and do not fall under the special status and protection given by to Islam, Christian, and Jews, who are considered to be people of the book. Now, for people who don't know, most Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, were all birthed around the Middle East. And you need to ask yourself, if people from the origins of this faith do not recognize a certain group, why is that? Why is that? Why is Iran saying that the Jehovah's Witnesses are not people of the book? You need to ask yourself that. At number 11, we have the country of Iraq. And unfortunately, I don't have any information as to why they have banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. But I think we can start piecing 2 and 2 together at this point. At number 12, we have the country of Jordan. And Jordan banned the Jehovah's Witnesses in 1957. And literally everything that is Jehovah's Witnesses affiliated in that country is completely banned, even their publications. Then at number 13, we have the country of Kuwait. Kuwait has also banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. At number 14, we have the country of Laos, and Laos has a long list of Christian denominations that they have banned. They were like, you're going to know exactly who we don't want in this country. Listen to this. They have banned Methodists, Jehovah's Witnesses, Church of Christ, Assemblies of God, Lutherans, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as Mormons, and Baptists. All of these religions are banned in Laos. Laos were like, none of these new age Christian denominations. No, thank you. At number 15, we have the country of Lebanon. And this is the point I've been alluding at this whole video. And it's going to make everything make sense as to why most Arab nations, most North African countries have banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. In 1964, on the 12th of May, which is my birthday, how ironic. Let me just get this name right. The Israel Boycott Office of the League of Arab States sent out a recommendation to all Arab nations, warning them that, hey, the Jehovah's Witnesses, that faith, that religion that is spreading around the world and trying to make its way through Islamic countries, Islamic majority regions, they are connected to Zionism. Yes, they are connected to Zionism, and you need to be careful. And this has led to why most, if not all, Arab states have banned Jehovah's Witnesses. Lebanon took the recommendations, and then 1971, on the 27th of January, they banned every single thing from the Jehovah's Witnesses. Their whole religion, their publications, their books, all of it was banned in Lebanon. And now we understand as to why Arab nations have banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's not because they want to persecute them or whatever the case may be. They actually make accommodations for Christianity, Judaism, and other religions, as we've seen in countries like Iran, because that is the birthplace of Abrahamic religions. It wouldn't make sense for them to actually ban these religions. But now you understand that, hey, the issue is not with Christianity. The issue is not necessarily with the Jehovah's Witnesses, is that they are connected to a very, very dangerous group. And it's definitely not in their favor to have these people within their countries, as we see how things are playing out in Palestine. Then at number 16, we have the country of Libya. Libya has also banned the Jehovah's Witnesses. Then lastly, at number 17, we have the country of Maldives. Maldives has banned the Jehovah's Witnesses because, hey, they ain't got no time for evangelism. Literally, that's the reason. Evangelism is forbidden on that island. And ironically, they've also banned the Israeli passport, meaning that if you have an Israeli passport or you are an Israeli citizen, you cannot go and visit the Maldives. The Maldives were like, we are not getting involved, honey. We are not getting involved with such a government that is literally persecuting another group of people. You stay away. Stay away. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. That is always my intention with my content. I want you to leave here having learned something. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you want a part 2, and I will see you in the next video.
It's like she was here with us.
Yeah, right. Great video. So
what is her channel? South African.
Let me pull up her page.
XAW. She's a really good speaker, and her English is smack on. Is that first language English down there?
I don't know, but I found her recently and she is amazing. I even told her I want to collaborate with her, so we will have something in the works very soon.
Yeah, see if you can get a live going with her. That'd be cool.
So that was the best video I have ever seen of a lot of countries in one video that have banned and the reasons why they banned them. This is not religious persecution. There are legit reasons that these countries do not want either Western influence or religious Western influence in their countries, especially a cult. Because just like she said, if in these countries where Judaism, Christianity, Islamic religions originated from, why would they not want a Christian, religion to be in that side of the world? and makes you kind of think. That's why I said she made a great point, because they have Christianity over there. There's Eastern Orthodoxy. There's, Catholics, over there, and they are allowed, but not Jehovah's Witnesses. So that makes you think, okay, so this is a cult, and they identify it correctly. And I wish one day America will do that. We could declassify them as a religion.
The more we all have a part. So for everyone out there, if you can like and share these videos, this helps us to reach a larger audience. It helps us to grow our YouTube channels. Ruby has her channel. If anybody hasn't subscribed to Ruby yet, it really helps us as activists to get our message out. We are limited to YouTube's algorithms, and it takes sometimes years to do this naturally. But if you guys as the audience, if you comment lots, comments help, likes and shares. That's the way that the YouTube, when they see that, YouTube says, okay, well, maybe we should share this a little further. And so each time our videos reach a little further. So by collaborating with other YouTube providers, it really helps us as an XJW community worldwide. And I think it's fabulous. Great work, Ruby, on that one. That was a good video.
Yes, thank you. Because she is coming out with a part 2. Because I commented and I said, oh, hey, you didn't include Russia. Because, I mean, that's what we know of, because JW.org is pouring that propaganda out about Russia, but you don't hear about all these other countries. So, yeah, I will post her information in the chat. And the reason why I wanted to bring out Monica's video is because I do want to touch a little bit about Russia. So on Reddit, I found this information on Reddit. So let me see if I can share another page, because there are other news networks that are talking about the Jehovah's Witnesses that is not from JW.org. So let me see. I'm going to pull up this page here. Okay, you should be able to see it now. Okay. So this is one article about Russia, and it describes the sentencing for the Russian Jehovah's Witnesses that have been jailed. So this is June 25th, 2024. Russia has jailed 3 Jehovah's Witnesses for more than 8 years each for alleged extremist activity. Okay, and that is pretty harsh. I do agree also with Monica and with other people who feel like they shouldn't be thrown in prison for it. But I won't read the whole article, but I just wanted to show you that, yes, this is one of the only other times that JW.org has actually reported news that the outside world is reporting as well. So that's one article from, how do you pronounce that?
No.
Reuters.
I wanted to ask you a question, and I was now, all those JW.org videos where they're playing them at the assembly this year, the convention. I don't know if you've seen them, but the people in Russia are going into the prison. I think one of the governing body members is there. And then people are watching from somewhere, watching all the people in prison in Russia. They're having like two-way conversations, like on it through a computer system. They're making it look heroic. Now, my question is, all those videos are all fake. They're all made in Watchtower studio, because there's no way in God's green earth that Russia's allowing Watchtower in there with their movie studio filming all this, are they? That's all BS. That's all make-believe in Watchtower's studio in New York. None of this is real. None of this stuff is real, but they're painting it as heroic, and and you know what they're saying? Based on real events. It's all made up. I guarantee you none of this is real. It's all, Watchtower is so full of fake news that it would make your head spin. Russia won't allow them in there if they're putting them in jail. Well, I'd like to see Mark Sanderson go down there, and he's the one that, if he wants to be like the Apostle Paul, Mark Sanderson, he
Right.
needs to go to jail. But these guys are cowards. These guys are cowards. They hide behind their lawyers. They hide behind Gary Bro, the liar, who says no one lies.
Mm-hmm.
They hide behind everyone, the Watchtower. Those guys, those 9 men, they're cowards. You see, the real heroes are the ones that went to prison. The Apostle Paul, some of the early apostles, Jesus got, crucified. He stood up. Those guys don't stand up. They lie in court. Anyways, this is an interesting thing. The other point I wanted to make is that gal that you brought on from South Africa. I'm not good with names, sorry. What was her name again?
Monica.
Monica. So now what Monica brought out, it looks like Babylon's falling. They're not allowing any of these religions in. They're all banned all over the world in a lot of countries. Well, of course, it's Islamic countries, but a lot of countries. I thought Watchtower was in almost every country in the world. That's what I thought. That's what they lead you to believe, right? But they're not. Or they're losing popularity.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's important to realize why they are being banned, because even if it is an Islamic country, why are you trying to bud yourself into another part of the country where you know damn well you're not welcome? You know what I mean? It's like they're fighting for a spot at the table where they don't want you at that table. Okay. And you should not be putting your nose into other people's countries, trying to bring your cult or your religion to their countries. And that's what and they're using the whole Russia stuff as fuel for the propaganda, because they're not explaining why they're being banned in Afghanistan or Iraq or Iran. Like, why don't we talk about those countries? But no, they want to talk about fighting for a seat at other Christian nations' tables, because in one of these articles, it does accurately point out that Russia is orthodoxy, and I am also inquiring into Orthodox. So that's why I feel a little bit more connected to these types of stories, because once again, why are you trying to force yourself into a country where you know they are heavily like religious people and the whole country is Orthodox? It's not like America where they have diversity and people can worship as you please. No, they don't function like that the way we do in America, but they want to fight their way in, and then they want to cry at the end of the day when their members are being arrested. And even if it is extreme, stop fighting for us for that space when you know you are not welcomed and you're putting people at risk, because these are real people that are going to jail and being arrested for these things because they feel like, oh, my government is oppressing me, or I don't have the freedom to do that here. So why doesn't Bethel take those brothers and seek asylum over here or something? No, they're letting you go to jail. They're telling you to keep worshiping Jehovah at all costs, because that's theocratic warfare. And even if your government tells you not to worship God, you should do it anyways. You should disobey authority. And that is a dangerous rhetoric. If it goes, more to what the extremists, how people are accurately describing them, they are extreme. Because if your government is telling you something, why don't you tell your members to tone it down or not function as if you are in a free country like America? You know what I'm saying? So it's like they are American, an American religion based in one of the freest countries in the world, but they are letting their members get arrested and lose their freedom over something that they want in this country. So it's kind of sad.
They make it look heroic on all their fake movies that they make, and they run that through all their conventions. Go ahead. You have some good stuff here on Russia. Now, have you heard from Oleg lately? Oleg?
I have not, but I've been thinking about him. So
yeah,
when I was looking this stuff up,
I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay, right?
Yeah, so you see, that's the confusing part, is because we read stuff like this, we watch the jw.org, and then Oleg is saying, oh, they don't care, we can go to the kingdom halls and we can still worship the way that we want. They're not, like when he said that in that live stream. So I'm assuming that Russia is not really, like you said before, they're not really going door to door, snatching Jehovah's Witnesses out of their homes and arresting them. They are getting arrested for deliberately breaking the law by evangelizing, by going door to door, by preaching, doing the sort of thing that Russia told you not to do. So you see what I'm saying? That's why I don't like Jehovah's Witnesses when it comes to this. Sorry for if any Jehovah's Witnesses view this, but I do feel like the governing body doesn't care about authority, and they only care about their own authority. And that's what I have a problem with. They don't care about anything but themselves. And so this article, Kiev Post, heavy prison terms for 9 Jehovah's Witnesses in the occupied territory of Crimea. And we already know about the war happening over there. So it's like too many things happening at once, and you a Jehovah's Witness. Like, that kind of sucks. Oh my God, I feel bad for them. But the only reason why I'm bringing this out is because here they give you all the information on the sentencing for these brothers that are active Jehovah's Witnesses, thinking that they're doing this in the name of Jehovah. You see, this is what I have a problem with, is the brainwashing. It's the indoctrination that they think that they're doing this because Jehovah's real. So this was posted June 21st, 2024. 9 Jehovah's Witnesses.
I always say Jehovah equals Watchtower. Jehovah equals Watchtower. Anytime the Watchtower wants to, you see, they want their people to do as they say, but they don't want to. They don't want their people to say, well, we're doing this because of the Watchtower. They want their people to say, well, we're doing this because of Jehovah. You see, it's a different feel, right? So Watchtower's cunning. All they have to do is make everything they want out of the people about Jehovah. Well, you see, this is all about Jehovah. And then they can find an example in the Bible and say, well, we can be like Joseph, how he worshiped Jehovah. You see, folks, this is what you need to do. Anyways, that's Watchtower. Jehovah equals Watchtower.
Yep. So when I saw these 2 articles, I said, you know what? Let me go to jw.org. Let me do the unthinkable once again and go to that website, that traumatizing website.
You're so right. I've been lately. I went on it and I was doing some stuff, and I says to my good wife, I says, this is just making me angry. How they just get on there. Because once you get out and you look, it's mind control. This is all mind control. I don't even want to look at their stuff no more. It's mind control. Sometimes you can get trapped into their little movies and crap. We got to be careful as XJWs because our minds are already been programmed and brainwashed. So now when we get out, we don't want to go back to that. I don't recommend anybody work stuff, but apostates have to do a certain amount, I guess.
Yep. So I went on jw.org and I literally searched each and every one of those Russian names that were in those 2 articles to see if, the Jehovah's Witnesses actually gave their story and their biographies, and they did. So I have a bunch of links and I got their pictures. So these are the people that we are talking about. Like I said before, I like to look at the faces of the people that we are talking about. Even if it comes to CSA stuff, I want to see the guy's face. You know what I mean? So now we're talking about these Russian brothers. These are the brothers, some of the brothers. I did a collage of the Russian brothers that are imprisoned because they are indoctrinated to believe that they are doing this for Jehovah, that they are being persecuted because they are Jehovah's Witnesses. And it's heartbreaking for me because I look at these faces and I can't blame them. You know what I mean? It's like they are under the spell. They are in spiritual darkness and they are sitting in a Russian jail. And I don't even know, I can't even imagine what that might be like. You know what I mean? I've never even left the United States of America. So you could only imagine what these brothers are going through.
I was reading an article a while back. I covered a little bit, and I showed some videos of what it's like in those Russian jails. I just researched it a bit. I was curious. And on some of these jails that these JWs are in, they play stuff 24 hours a day on a big loud horn all over, and it's Russian programming. So they're programming them with Russian Russian stuff, right? 24 hours a day, just beating your, like how the Watchtower programmed us. Satan's bad, Jehovah's good, the world's bad, the congregation's good. You know how the basics. That's programming every day, every day, every day. Satan's wicked, everything's wicked. That's programming every day, every day. And every one of their articles, nothing's really changed, even at their assemblies. It's all the same old stuff. And they start with the subtlety, and then they get you worked up with some drama, and then they come back to some music. And I was reading on mind control, and that's how you control people's minds. You go, it's like an up and down thing. And they do that. They do that seamlessly through the conventions for mind control. But anyways, I kind of got off topic. Russia.
Yeah.
It's mind control. In those Russian prisons, they're mind control. It's not like JW.org says it is. It's not heroic. They're not hooking up to the internet and sending love letters back to their wives. It's not like that, those prisons. Not what I've seen. And JW.org, I believe, is making fake videos because they're not allowed in Russia. How are they making all those fake videos? And why are they not telling us that they're fake videos? They're making Russia look okay to go to prison.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I feel so sad for them. I don't know, because what if they wake up? Like
in prison.
Like that sucks.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my goodness. And then they realize that they have their whole life destroyed because of this.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I was going to show you a scripture. I know we usually don't do the scriptures on the news show, but I just wanted to show this one really quick. What do you think of that scripture? Like, as Jehovah's Witnesses, when I was a JW, we kind of read over it and never really spent no time on it. But if you really look at this scripture, like you were saying, it says, let every person be subject to the governments, the governing authorities. If we're to take the Bible as it is, that it's the Bible got here because God, Jesus, or whoever inspired this book to be the way it is to us. Well, this is what it says in every Bible in the world. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities. So it says that there's no authority except from God. And it says that those that exist have been instituted by God. So that these governments, so that this construct, we're all in this construct, right? We're all in the image of God. God made everything. So we're in this system of things. This, I guess some people call it a program. But everything that exists has been instituted and allowed by God. Even the Watchtower. The Watchtower has been allowed by God until now. They have been given their time until now. So now, what does it say? It says, therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed. And those who resist will incur judgment. That's what it says. We've never covered that as a JW. So every time Watchtower goes to court and resists authority, they're resisting God. God appointed that authority. You see, the government, like I have always said, is just buildings. The government is just governmental buildings. But the real government is the people in there. And how did they get there? Well, it's the people of the country that voted the people in there. So it's the majority of the people in the country that put the government there. So the government is made up of the people of the country. That's the government, the majority of the people in the country. So if you live in that country, just like you said, if you go down to an Islamic country where things are run a certain way, and Watchtower just rolls in there and thinks they're going to pull out their Bibles and do whatever they want religiously and go door to door, just like in America, that's wrong.
Right.
Because that's not the way that country works. You see, you can't have a religion that works the same all over the world, because all over the world there's different governments. Would that not be correct? And you notice Jesus
Right.
sent out 72 or 70 at Pentecost? They went to those 70 lands. There's 70 lands, 70 different nations, and they all spoke 70 different languages, and they went to all those different lands, different governments. It wasn't one suits all. You see, J.W. Org is trying to make it one suits all. That's not the way that's not even the way the Bible's written. If we
Right.
break the Bible down. Anyways, this is an interesting topic for future discussions. We do Bible discussions more on Sundays, but this
Yeah.
summer we'll probably give it a little bit of a break. Now,
But I
next
do want
week
to add a
here-
point. Can I add a
Yeah,
point
you
to
go
what you
ahead.
just said about that?
Oh, go ahead. We have lots of time.
Okay, so I just read it from my Orthodox study Bible, and there's like these footnotes at the bottom that just kind of explains it,
Mhm.
and it's exactly what you said. So I just want to make a point to that, because the footnote here says, to defy the civil government is to defy God, for God works in and through the governing authorities. This principle holds true so long as the civil ordinance is not in opposition to God, but
Yeah,
promotes
yeah,
good works.
yeah.
When civil rulers are in direct opposition to God, the believer must follow God. So that's
Yeah.
a good footnote, because I think that
Yep.
I
See,
think that that's true.
See, it brings it out here. It says, then, he says, for rulers are not a terror to good conduct. So,
Mhm.
we have police forces that watch, that go and deal with murders and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Rulers of our government. So we have police forces. So for rulers are not a terror to good conduct. You see, our
Mhm.
rulers are trying to help us. We have speed limits. You drive on the right side of the road. The rulers are trying to help us to a certain extent, right?
Right,
But it
right.
says,
Rules
but
and
to
laws.
bad. Yeah, rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but they're a terror to bad. That's what it says.
Right.
So if you have bad conduct, if you're going to go out
Mhm.
and do some bad stuff, then the rulers are a terror. So if you're the watchtower and you're going to lie in court, you're going to cover up CSA,
Right.
and you're going to rape, you're going to steal all the people's money and do everything
Mhm.
that watchtower is doing, and then you're going to tell all these lies to 8.5 million people and whoever else you can suck in and say you're the kings of the world. That's
Mhm.
what they're doing.
But even as Jehovah's Witnesses, like when I was little, this is the thing that we are like born and raised to believe, is that people are out to get us because we worship the one true God. But then when you realize how morally corrupt they are, that's when you wake up. But speaking on that point, and that's why the Jehovah's Witnesses, they want to use that to their advantage, because if you do take, for example, the whole Russia stuff, they're not doing anything that is against God, because they do have Christianity as
They do.
the domain religion over
Orthodox
there.
Russia. Yep. You can worship
Exactly.
Jesus there.
You can. So why
Yep.
are Jehovah's Witnesses making it an issue for you to worship God if they do worship the Christian God? So that's what's got to
Because
make you think.
because they don't fear the government. You see, here it says in the scripture, it says, therefore, whoever resists authorities resists what God's appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. That's what's happening in Russia. So, for the rulers are not a terror to good, but to bad. In Russia, well,
Mhm.
we're not JWs in religion. It's not involved in Russia's affairs. It's just involved with religion. So you got Russian Orthodox. They worship Jesus the same as the Catholics and any other Orthodox religion.
Right.
And if JWs wanted, they could just worship Jesus properly, but they want to go door to door and they want to do this and they want to do
Exactly.
this. And then they want to not do blood transfusions, which more of them die. There's more issues. So there's more,
Right.
the government has to, it costs the government more to manage a cult. If you have a cult in the country, well, we just read the stats. You have 10% more suicides. You have 7% more schizophrenia. You have higher health rate problems with cults. So the people don't even vote. And then the people do not even help charity. They send it all to the US. See, Russia's not stupid. All their money goes to the US. Then the US took
Mhm.
over all of the property. Russia doesn't like that. All those Russian people worked hard to build a kingdom hall, but then all of a
Yep.
sudden the U.S. wants to own it all. So Russia says, no, not going to do that. Told McDonald's the same thing. It told everyone.
Yeah,
And you kind of can't blame a country, right? For
exactly.
foreign
Exactly.
investors come in, and then pretty soon, China's another one. They come into Canada and they buy up all our land. Well, we have rules. Most
Right.
countries have rules that stop that. But Watchtower kind of slyly did it. All over the world, they own all the property. They had all the brothers sign it over, right? Somehow. I don't know how they did it. We'll have to look into that as news people, I guess.
Yeah, it's very
Anyways,
interesting.
I think we've kind of covered news. I had a did you have some more? I had a little
Nope,
bit
that's
on
it.
Twitter. I had a little. You covered Mark O'Donnell on Twitter nicely. I was going to say Martin Haw. This
Mhm.
little thing on Martin Haw.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, so it's a nice picture of him. They're recovering. They had a barbecue in recognition of their son Samuel. Samuel, yeah,
Yes, yeah.
and
They have the same
so
name. Mhm.
this was some pictures that were put on there. And he says, my brother Nathan and his wife flew in from California to be with us for our son's funeral. We planted a tree yesterday, and today, after the celebration of his life, we will plant Sam's ashes with the tree. So I thought that was a nice posting. And then you covered Mark O'Donnell's talk nicely about the
That's
Pennsylvania.
the case.
We follow him too. So he's really good to follow. And
Mhm.
then Larchwood, did you see this one? I thought this was funny. This
I
was
haven't.
so Larchwood posted this one. Let me see
Mhm.
if I can blow that up. This is right off the Watchtower, right?
Mhm.
So right off the Watchtower, GW.org, the question is, why won't my parents let me have any fun? That's the little thing there, right? So then
Yeah.
Larchwood says, because they're in a religious high control group.
Yeah. It's so true, man. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So that's why your parents won't let you have any fun. So that's kind of it, I think.
Yep,
I
I
did
think that's
that.
it for the news, but I do have an announcement
Okay,
if we're
go
done
for
with
it.
the news.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
we are.
so just one announcement I have. So next Friday, I am going to be out of town. I am celebrating another birthday. Out of the 3 birthdays I have this month to go through, I am celebrating a birthday. So that weekend we're gonna go to Orlando.
Oh,
So
nice.
I know,
Good for you.
yes. So I'm not
Orlando.
gonna be
Now,
able
is
to
that
be
in
here.
Florida? Or is that in Florida? Orlando?
Yeah, so I'm in
That's
Tampa,
Disney World?
and
That's Disney World? Orlando?
it's Universal Studios. It's just like
Oh,
another
okay.
park.
Is that in California, Orlando? No, that's in Florida,
No,
right?
Florida, yeah. Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Universal Resort Studios
Okay.
/
Wow.
resorts. We're gonna stay over there and we're gonna have a blast. I'm probably gonna vlog it, just to keep it for myself since I got cameras and all this stuff.
Good for you.
um yeah, so we are going to
Good for
have
you.
fun, and I'm not
We
gonna be able to be here next Friday with you.
we we did that. I did that about 30 years ago with the family. We had 2
Wow.
kids, and we went to Florida, Orlando. We did all those theme parks. It took us about a week, and then we went up to Tampa.
Yep.
And we went up to Tampa, and there's this big park with roller coasters. What's that called? Is that Tampa? No.
Busch Gardens is in Tampa.
There you go. Busch
Yeah.
Gardens, way up north. It was
Mhm.
cold that day we went up there, but that was nice.
Mhm.
And then we traveled the Everglades, went where the crocodiles were, and then we went down to the Keys. We toured a lot that year,
Nice.
and we were driving down the freeway. I remember driving down the freeway at a rental car, and this vehicle in front of me just kind of went like this and flipped her actually right over, right in front of me.
Oh my God.
Freaked me out.
I mean, it happens
But
a lot in
anyways,
Florida. These Florida drivers are crazy.
it was crazy. They were driving 80 or 90 down that freeway, like in Florida. I couldn't believe it. I was flooring that rental car. Just, people are
Yes.
crazy. And all you got to do is go like this, and you're flipping.
Uh-huh.
It's so
Yeah.
dangerous. That was stuck with me. I probably had PTSD over that one. Didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I was a JW, so I had it anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh my God.
a lot of fun. Now, okay, I wanted to say one last thing. I know we don't have a lot of people online anymore, but I was talking about that Zurich study,
Mm-hmm.
and I missed the ending. And I
Okay.
thought the ending was so important because they said, as a result of the Zurich study, they're saying that there needs to be more professional support for former members. It needs to be improved. They have to understand what's going on with us, and there's got to be support. It does say that if you have mental illness, you should seek professional help. So this is
Yes.
one of their number one issues with the Watchtower. The
Mhm.
Watchtower, they said in their study, the Watchtower is their major magazine. They were talking about the topic mental problems in the Watchtower, right? And they said the same as I covered that. They said, and it does not say if you have mental illness, you should seek professional help. The Watchtower does not, in the Elders book or anywhere, tell you to seek professional help. Do you notice that?
Correct.
They don't tell
Yes.
you to. They think that they're doctors. They think
Mm-hmm.
that all their elders are doctors, obviously. Like if you're not sending your members for help when they're mentally sick, depressed, and you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
okay, here's your prescription. Pray to Jehovah 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Read all of the Watchtowers 10 times. Well, try to do them twice. Come to all the meetings in person. Don't zoom in. Don't zoom in. We'll pick you up. Here's your prescription. You'll get better. That is
Right.
their prescription. Anyways,
Yeah.
Ruby, it's been a pleasure with this news. Do you have you don't have any more news, eh?
No. I think the last announcement I had was I got the wigs in the mail. So the following Friday, I am going to debut my new wig for your show.
Good. Hey, so we're gonna take maybe we got to go on a little road trip and figure out where we're gonna live. So we won't be around next Friday for the news either. So
Okay.
we're just gonna give it a little break here, and then we'll pick up after you get back from Tampa or from Florida, or no, you
Orlando.
live in Florida,
Yeah.
Orlando.
Orlando. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So we're going to take a break as well. And what else do I have to say? Oh, I was reading some of the comments of last week's show, and well, the general consensus is that people like you on the news. So I
Oh,
could just
nice.
quit. I could just quit, and you could do it.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
No,
But
I
no,
love
it's
doing it
kind
together.
of. I think it's fun. It gives a person a break. It's like I said, it's hard to carry a 2-hour show all by yourself. A lot of times, if you're
Yes.
just going from one news article to another. So it was kind of fun today, and I hope everyone online enjoyed it. We're going to close the show down, and
Yay.
I just made this little news thing. I don't know if you thought it was good, but you can make one and play it for an opening or a closer on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say goodbye to everyone and have yourselves a great weekend and keep living your life with love. Bye for now.
Bye.